Tonight on Duck TV News, how robots are helping teach students bedside manners, what business two 13-year-olds created, and a look at the newest family fun center to hit Eugene. All that and more on tonight's episode of Duck TV News. Good evening and welcome to tonight's episode of Duck TV News. I'm Mario Ponce.
And I'm Alexis and Mario. From local businesses to traffic, we have a lot to catch you up on. So let's get started.
Students in the Communication Disorders and Science program are gaining a unique experience in learning bedside manners. In the basement of the College of Education's Clinical Services building, a hospital room has been recreated in a former storage closet. The star attraction is a patient and robot named Susie. Susie is the first of her kind at the University of Oregon. She is able to breathe, speak, pre-programmed dialogue, and mimic symptoms of diseases that students will need to know how to identify and treat. According to program founder Samantha Schoon, Susie gives students a new sense of confidence when working with patients.
Students really are more prepared and more comfortable and confident in those settings. So it's been a great opportunity.
The program is also being used in other classes within the department.
A new entertainment establishment came to Eugene this past Saturday, and its opening created a buzz among the Eugene community. Reporter Sarah Noso has more.
Last Saturday morning, a line of people waited in anticipation for Round 1's opening at the Valley River Center.
I'd heard about it opening a couple months ago, and I've been to a Round 1 in Japan before, so I was really excited because I really like all the arcades there. So when I found out we were getting one here, I was like, I'm going to be there immediately. They import a lot of the Japanese rhythm games and stuff like that you can't get other places.
I love how they offer a whole array of things, like the bowling, the karaoke, the arcade, and the food and stuff like that. It's way different than any other typical arcade.
From over 250 arcade games to try out, bowling, a bar for the adults, and more, Round 1 seems to have a little something in store for everyone. Round 1's incorporation of Japanese games and prizes adds a new dimension to the arcade.
You're going to see different Japanese games in here that you will not find anywhere else. As you can see behind me here, you can see some of the fun zone. You'll see our UFO catchers. Those are specifically sent over from Japan.
I had a recent birthday, as in yesterday, so we are wanting to check it out for current and future birthday parties.
Round 1 offers party rooms like this one, which adds to the uniqueness of this venue. The addition of this new location marks the first in Oregon, and this serves as another place in the community where people can come together and have fun. For Duck TV News, I'm Sarah Noso.
Round 1 plans to open more locations in the Pacific Northwest. Now let's toss over to sports with Arya and Avery.
Good evening, Eugene, and welcome to the Sports Desk. I'm Mario.
And I'm Avery Fawcett.
And we will be your hosts for the evening. With basketball season winding down and baseball and softball starting up, it was a busy week for the Ducks. So let's get you all caught up.
Oregon baseball is in full swing, but unfortunately for them, they didn't get much love in Tempe on Valentine's weekend. Under new head coach Mark Wasikowski, the Ducks fell short to Minnesota 12-10 in what was almost a crazy comeback. They fell behind by 9 after the third inning. However, the Ducks clawed their way back to cut the lead to 1 in the top of the 8th from a triple by freshman Anthony Hall. But it wasn't enough to put them over the Golden Gophers. At the next game on Saturday, the team was hit with another heartbreaker, losing to San Diego 6-5. It was a back and forth at first, but the Ducks just couldn't score after the third inning. The game ended with Hall being thrown out at home, trying to tie the game with 2 outs left. The baseball team ended their weekend with a third loss, falling to Pepperdine. This time, they were on the other side of a comeback, allowing 4 runs in the 8th inning.
The women's basketball team traveled south to Los Angeles this last week to face the California teams. On Friday, it was a top 10 matchup against the number 7 UCLA Bruins. Star senior Ruthie Hebert dominated, posting a double-double, and senior guard Sabrina Ionescu reached 1,000 career assists as the Ducks took their 11th straight win, beating the Bruins 80-66. Sunday's game against the Trojans was a homecoming for 1 million more as the guard returned to her alma mater of USC, where she transferred from last year. After a slow start, the Ducks took the lead in the game and never looked back. 4 different players scored double digits as the team won 93-67 and swept the LA schools for the 3rd straight year. Oregon will next face California in Haas Pavilion on Friday, followed by a trip to Stanford on Monday, where they will play the 4th-ranked Cardinal. F45 is a workout class that is becoming increasingly popular on campus. as well as the Eugene area. Reporter Erin McMahon tells us more.
F45 is a dynamic full-body workout from Sydney, Australia. There are over 1,000 F45 studios worldwide, including one in the University of Oregon's own Student Recreational Center. Lisa Ross, an administrator at the UO, started going to F45 for a convenient sweat sesh, but has stayed because of the uniqueness of the workout.
I enjoy these workouts because I feel like I'm getting a pretty balanced workout that I'm not going to be able to come up with on my own or really motivate myself to do.
The F in F45 stands for functional, which falls under the category of high-intensity interval training. The 45 stands for the length of time in which you are working out, which is 45 minutes. Lauren Walker oversees the F45 program at the university. As a student and instructor, she enjoys the communal aspect.
You know, I understand what it's like to be a student, and so many of the patrons that come in here are students as well, so I can relate to them on that level. And, you know, we're struggling through midterms together right now.
With the rising popularity of this workout class, the Eugene community has welcomed a new F45 studio on Coburg Road. Jake Carlisle is the manager at the Coburg studio and enjoys the class's structure.
F45 has 5 TVs in front of the room that has a person performing the exercise, so that the 2 trainers can spend a lot more time actually out on the floor, giving that one-on-one attention and making everyone, you know, feel welcome and comfortable.
For Duck TV Sports, I'm Erin McMahon.
Thanks, Erin. I will have to check it out myself. Classes are offered at the Rec Center 7 days a week.
The Oregon track and field team is celebrating after 2 successful meets over the weekend. In New Mexico, the team saw PRs across the board, with the jump team going to work. Redshirt senior Ben Milligan had a high jump mark of 7 feet 3 inches to take second at the meet and in the Oregon indoor record books. Risa Foster and Alyssa Hickey went 1 and 2 in women's long jump. Foster is also ranked number 2 in the record books after her 21.5-foot leap. At the Husky Classic in Seattle, it was the distance crew that came alive. The Oregon men ended up taking the top 4 mile spots at the meet. Senior James West clocked in the second fastest mile time in the nation in the mile at 3 minutes and 57 seconds. West also took second in the 3K behind teammate Cooper Tier. The Ducks are looking to send 7 men and 8 women to the Indoor National Championships next month. What if I told you that you probably haven't seen one of Eugene's best sports teams? Reporter Dylan Rubenking tells us why the hockey team isn't more recognized.
The Oregon Ducks men's hockey team won its 2nd straight Pac-8 championship a little over a week ago, with the team earning its 4th championship in a decade. But the team does not gather as much attention from Oregon fans and students as other sports.
I think a lot of people, especially in Oregon, don't really know that we do have a hockey team.
This season, the women's basketball team has averaged more than 10,000 fans, but the Rink Exchange, where the hockey team plays its home games, only fills about a couple hundred in a venue that seats 2,700 people. So why doesn't the hockey team get more support from the athletic department? Well, the answer is simple. They're a club team. According to Jimmy Stanton, the Senior Associate Athletic Director of Communications at the University of Oregon, club sports are under their own umbrella financially since they are not part of the 20 varsity sports at UO. Back in 2018, the Oregon football team was projected for more than $20 million in expenses. Compare those numbers to this year's club sports budget, and you've got chump change. The department only received about $883,000 for 39 club teams to pay for advertising, travel, gear, the list goes on. Ben Prawl, who is the program director for club sports at UO, has been working inside the department for the past 4 years and understands some of the burdens that the lack of funding puts on these club athletes.
Put a lot of emphasis on fundraising for the teams, and we require a minimum amount, a 15% minimum amount based on their starting allocation.
But even with their financial struggles, the team is still optimistic about getting their names out.
It's always one of our goals to get more recognition, both within the university and within the greater hockey community. And I think we've actually achieved that to a great degree.
With Duck TV Sports, I'm Dylan Rubenking.
Thanks, Dylan. I may have to start checking out the hockey team more often now.
The 21st ranked Oregon softball team has been keeping busy on the road. They wrapped up the Houston tournament in Texas this past Sunday. The Ducks won all 4 of their games against opponents Dayton and Houston in their second non-conference tournament of the season. The tournament comes just 5 days after the Ducks' trip to Mexico for the Puerto Vallarta College Challenge. After 9 games in preseason, the softball team maintains a perfect record of 9-0. More traveling is in store for the Ducks as they head south to Cathedral City, California tomorrow for the Mary Nuther Collegiate Classic. The Ducks start the tournament with 2 games against Bethune-Cookman and Mississippi State. Friday will feature another Ducks doubleheader with matchups against Notre Dame and Idaho State. Saturday, Oregon faces Northwestern, whom they're tied with in the NCAA rankings.
And that's all we have for you tonight, Eugene. Make sure to check out our social media at Duck TV Sports. Now back to Mario and Alexis at News.
Thanks, Arya and Avery. Construction on Interstate Highway 105 kicked off last week with the goal to improve safety standards on the bridge. Starting on Tuesday the 11th, all travel was cut down to 1 lane in each direction. The ramp between I-105 and the Delta Highway will also be closed because of this project. Though drivers are concerned about more traffic, the Oregon Department of Transportation insists this will not be the case. Lane restrictions and closures plan to last until June this year.
LTD is now offering fewer pickup times. The change was implemented after LTD started new transportation resources, such as the MGO program. But after receiving negative feedback from the community, the LTD board is waiting till spring to release a final route schedule. Until then, they encourage residents to express concerns to the board. Now let's take a look at entertainment with Eileen Hernandez.
This week, I took it to the streets to ask people what their favorite movies were looking forward to in 2020, compared to their favorite movie of all time. Let's check it out.
I'm most excited for Top Gun because that's the second one, because the first one's my mom's favorite movie, so we used to watch it together all the time, so it'll be fun to watch the next one.
Really liked Mulan growing up.
I'm excited for the new Mulan movie to come out.
I'm really excited for the Marvel series to come back with Black Widow coming out this year.
I'm excited for Godzilla vs. King Kong.
My favorite upcoming movie, probably The Quiet Place 2. I'm excited for it.
One that I'm most excited for would definitely be Sonic the Hedgehog. Just like growing up playing a lot of Sonic.
I don't think so. I mean, the first Mulan movie was pretty good, so the second one should be pretty good as well.
My all-time favorite movie, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Probably the original Blade Runner. Actually, no, the director's cut of the original Blade Runner.
The Hateful Eight.
All-time favorite movie probably Baby Driver or Iron Man.
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting. If you ask me, the new Jungle Cruise movie with Emily Blunt and The Rock looks pretty epic. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Eileen. 2 local 13-year-olds have launched a furry startup breeding hamsters. Tucker Conlu shows us what's going on behind the scenes.
Many kids have hamsters as pets, but these twins from Eugene are raising the lovable critters to be pets.
So we'll go into our designated hamster room, and then we'll check if they need water or food, and then we'll give them whatever they need.
We agree that most of the time she would do bottle, and they would do food and do toilet paper, all for their nests.
Hamsters. Cute, cuddly, and adorable. This one, he's pretty feisty. His name is Big Boy, and he's crawling up my arm. 13-year-old Adam and Kaylee Kramer raise hamsters like Big Boy, and they make sure they come from good homes, tamed and well taken care of.
Litters can have up to 18 pups, so small and delicate they can't even be counted for a few weeks after birth.
We have a new doe upstairs that's just had her first litter a week ago.
Their goal is to sell the hamsters to families and pet shops. Debbie Lavios, who didn't want to appear on camera, is co-owner of the Old Mill Farm Pet Store in Cottage Grove.
What's wonderful about Audrey and Kaylee and the whole crew of the 3 of them is that because mostly these are going to go into family environments, that's where they started.
Inside every feisty little hamster is a sweet hamster. You know, it just has to go through the process of learning how to trust human hands.
Reporting for Duck TV News, I'm Tucker Conlu.
Adam and Kaylee's pups are still young, but will be ready to move into new homes in April. That's a wrap on tonight's episode. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Keep up with us throughout the week by giving us a follow on Instagram and Twitter at Duck TV News. See you next week, Eugene. Have a great night.